One thing I don't like, Chad, you brought up Snopes.
No, actually, he did.
Oh,
I did.
Somebody brought
All
up
the way
Snopes.
around.
Somebody brought up Snopes. And look, I'm just talking and waiting for spaces where I can say more stuff. Welcome to the Covalence Podcast, where the V in VPN stands for Vendetta.
What?
Did you guys hear that the UK just passed new legislation that they're going to force all internet service providers to keep everybody's internet history for a year?
Doesn't sound legal.
Why?
For terrorism, dude. Duh.
Aren't they
watch
also
everything.
the ones who are limiting, like, they keep slowly banning certain types of porn? Like, a year or two ago, it was like face sitting. And now this year, who knows what it is?
You can't sit anybody's face in the UK?
Wait a minute.
You
You're
can,
talking
just
about
not in porn.
they started with face sitting?
You
I
can't
think
record
That's
it.
too far.
They
That's
missed
too far.
they missed a whole lot of other like extreme stuff.
Well, they had protests out in front of Parliament, like, of women sitting on guys' faces afterwards.
Awesome. Yes. Okay, cool.
What
Should have given
only
them
a protest
Covalence
you could
Cast
get behind.
t-shirts.
It's a protest I could get under.
Fuck no Dapple. Face it on me, bitch.
what is the type of porn they just banned this time around?
I have no idea. I'm not up in the UK porn racket.
Oh. Well, anyways.
So they want to keep
It's multi porn sites. It's a site that's like an aggregate of different types of porn. So like PornTube can't be on there because you can watch all types of stuff, and you have to be singular in your type of porn.
Okay. So that's
It's
why they're
either site
Just
in the
buy
UK.
stock in Napster. Because there's no one, they'll never be able to stop you from just downloading porn peer to peer. All they're trying to do is like shut down your access to the website.
yeah.
Well, you can, as far as I understand it, you
What if
can't
we just
host
come
it
up
in the UK?
What if we just come up with a new name for porn? You know, just keep changing the language, because legislation is always based on language. So you just keep tweaking the language, tweaking the language. You know, a new meme for porn. So it's like rainbows and sun kisses.com is now, you know, double penetration anal sex.
If that's what you want to call it.
You're gonna be like, well, I'm just saying, right? Like,
Yeah,
what difference does it make what you call it, other than it fucks with legislation?
It's true. Then they have to go and make an amendment every time, and that takes months to do at the very most.
At the very least.
No,
But-
yeah, at the very least. My bad.
Yeah.
They'll find a way to go back in and change it in one thing.
The thing
That'll
that-
actually be a rider in some other, you know.
The amendment, yes.
I don't understand, what good does internet history actually do?
I can
I
tell
don't
you.
know.
It is terrorism based. It's like, oh, we let these refugees in. Let's see what all they were looking at up to the point where they blew up this thing. Or
Yeah, but can't you
whatever.
just go to those websites that you think are bad and then figure out all the traffic that's going to that website and then go backwards from there?
Well, it depends. If that website's hosted in another country, no.
And that doesn't really build a case because if you have one instance, like if I went to bombs.com, right? And I'm like, well, I was doing a research project, or I was interested in bombs that day. Then that's dismissible in court. But if the lawyer goes, well, you went to bombs.com, how to build a bomb.com, manurebombs.com, nitrobombs.com, like they can build a case for it. So that's why they need the history, I think.
I think that that is actually should not be admissible in court, because just anything that's based in a digital world, because nothing can be validated anymore. These people are making laws based on shit they don't even understand. They don't like, how are you going to prove to a jury of 12 people the technical aspects of convincing somebody without a doubt that this person was at this computer, this specific time in which you say information traveled here? Like, how do you prove that this information traveled here, and how do you prove that that the person giving you that information is credible? Because like we're seeing right now, fucking everybody's fake news. Let's blame Facebook for fake news. The mainstream media is blaming, you know, all these other third, I don't know, what do you want to call those lower level, like non-mainstream, you know, media websites. they want to discredit people like, I don't know, a big one would be like Alex Jones. They would say, oh, he's all, fake news or whatnot. We saw the video where, what was it? Adobe came up with, basically like Adobe
The audio
for audio hacking.
That's fucking dope.
We already know that.
terrifying.
I've seen videos from MIT where they take a video of like a sitting president, and they can make him mouth like all different types of stuff. So you don't even know. They can take actual footage and then just redo the mouth part, and it looks 100% real. We've seen recently one of the things that I want to talk about was the CEO of Reddit just going in and changing people's posts.
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving Gate.
What kind of
Thanksgiving.
changing? Like deleting or?
No, actually just changing what they said. Like retyping the post based on the way that he saw fit.
Why would he have that much time? He or she? Is it a he or is it she?
It's a dude.
It's a he.
Because he doesn't like any of the Trump supporters. So he only targeted Trump supporters and went in and re-edited their past post. Like it could have been shit that they said 15 days ago, and he went back there.
It was
and
he
edited
took
it.
all instances of the word "are" the Donald, and he's flipped it out with other stuff, so that way they weren't talking about it anymore.
Did he personally go in and do it, or did he
Yeah.
have a team do it?
He
No,
admitted-
he personally
he
did
admitted
it,
that he
and
did
he's
too.
admitted it.
Yeah, which is freaky.
How does he have that much time to go in and do that?
Man,
And why does it matter?
I don't think
Because
that's even
CEOs are
right.
bullshit, and they don't actually do anything anyways, other than
They really
collect a
don't.
fat fucking $1 million paycheck every year.
He's right. My previous job, the CEO there, he did not have that much control over the system at all because he was a moron. Like, no, I mean seriously, if we turned that guy loose in the system, everybody would come in the next day. Nobody would have email because he was temperamental, bitchy, just the whole thing. And what did he do most of the time he was there? He had another job that he worked at night. This is a CEO of a fairly large San Diego institution. But, yeah, what did he do? Worked another job at night, and he answered the emails for that job during the day, about half the day. And the other half the day, he would look at, like, vases and stuff for auction or whatever, like rare pieces.
That's not the purpose. This purpose of the CEO isn't to row the oars; it's to steer the ship. That's the problem. That's the thing. Like, if most CEOs can't do the basic day-to-day tasks, but they can they're responsible for all the high-end trickle-down shit, the big movements that make the whole ship turn, not going like this. Well, fuck, goddamn it, not rowing the oars. So that's why.
I think there's a
CEOs
size
across the board.
point, right? Like when the company becomes like over 1,000 people, then yeah. But when the company's small, it's only got 15 or 20. The CEO can probably do pretty much everybody's job. He could probably get out to the shop
Supposed to. I
and
would
deal
think.
with
Like,
stuff.
it would. I'll put
He
it this way:
he could
if I don't
run.
see
He
a
could
CEO
invoice and write purchase orders and all that kind of
Basic
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, you could do that.
But when the company gets huge, there becomes that separation, that disconnect, where the CEO is on the top floor of the 170th building. He comes in on a helicopter, has no idea what the fuck anybody's doing, 75 floors behind him, but he's going to yell and scream and, like this. There's definitely a disconnect. But my point is, Reddit, it's not like we didn't know that. Again, it's like the Snowden revelation. It's like we all knew the government was tracking all this shit and forcing companies with non-disclosure agreements to give them backdoors. And there was nothing anybody could do unless you were really bold and sneaky like Apple to just like literally remove themselves from the capability of doing what the government wants. There's now all this political pressure on Mark Zuckerberg to change Facebook's algorithms to get rid of news that somebody arbitrarily deems as fake, which is kind of bullshit. So my point is, all these platforms, they're not government regulated. There's no oversight, yet we feel totally fine taking somebody to court and prosecuting them over a Facebook post. Like somebody could say, a while ago, there was like some news stories where police were starting to use Facebook as a way to monitor gang activity, right? Because they would, if you tag something up and somebody puts it on their Facebook and they post it and they go, yeah, look at, I just marked this territory, or they'll use code to say, stuff that they have for sale or wherever they're going to meet. But now there's actually no guarantee that person even did that. Like theoretically, you could just plant a bunch of evidence in somebody's digital profile and then take them to court for that. And basically what I'm saying is, unless you're kind of, I'm barely, aware of the technical aspects of cyber security and the digital presence that we have online, but I know enough that it can be manipulated. The right person with the right administration, powers can edit and change things. So how is that now proof? That's not bringing DNA into the fucking, into the room. That's not a video security camera out somebody's house that watches somebody get shot. That's not an eyewitness that, a physical person you're bringing in. You're saying like, that stuff that we all think is magic most of the time? Well, that magic has proved that this person is guilty of a crime. You're like, wait a minute. You don't even understand how that shit works. And
do they actually use that? I know, like you said, they use it to try to go bust people actually out in the street, but did they use that in the court? I know, thinking back remember Casey Anthony, the mom from Florida who got off for potentially killing her?
The woman that, allegedly killed her daughter but made Nancy Grace's career as a result of that? Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember them talking about...
It's always a silver lining.
Yeah.
I remember them talking about her internet history, and she looked up
how to kill people.
And they said, she was trying to look up chlorophyll or something like that. But
fucking autocorrect. I was just trying to look up a recipe on how to make a cake, and it just autocorrected kill my girlfriend.
So I don't know that was like the writing thing on the...
No, but
case, but yeah, it is a piece of it.
But we've seen people react to things where I think like over the last 5 years, this idea of like anti-bullying campaigns have kind of permeated through the zeitgeist, and kids have been kicked out of school. People have been, kids have been arrested. I don't know about prosecuted, but people at high schools have been arrested for bullying people via Facebook. That's happened. And I'm not saying that somebody did go in and fake post, Timmy talking shit about Sarah's, flat A-cup titties.
Right.
But I'm saying that we should basically state now that we don't know what the fuck's going on with that stuff, and there's too many people, and there's too many ways that it can be fucked with.
You can make the argument for both sides, because if we're both lawyers and we're arguing, your argument is, well, like, it's not admissible. You can't use this as evidence. And then it would be my job to be like, yes, I can, and here's why. So if you immediately close it, you close off like, that'd be like closing off no DNA is admissible because sometimes they get mixed up. Like, sometimes it can work, but sometimes it can't. And that's up to the judicial system to work out. So I agree. Like, sometimes it's total shit because, if I wanted to, I could figure out your Facebook password and then go and then say you logged into blah, blah, blah. Like, I could do that. But, there's probably cases where they can point back to and be like, no, this is why. So, I think if you draw that line in the sand, I don't think that's right. You need to have both sides.
What about there's some reporter that was a blogger that did a story on Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And basically like a character assassination of him. And then Donald Trump sued the fuck out of this guy. Just sued him just to tie him up in court and just to make the guy's, life miserable. The media is powerful because everybody has a voice. And I feel like right now there's like this attempt to squash this everybody has a voice. There's this this meme in the zeitgeist right now about fucking fake news. Everybody's talking about fake news.
That is
somebody needs to stop this fake news. This fake news. We need to get rid of these. Google needs to go in and fact check all this stuff and get rid of this type of information. And that's scary as fuck to me, especially if you are a reporter and you are in a high political position, you have power, you have dollars, and you want to destroy somebody. You just go in and alter their couple of blog posts, and you go like, oh, look, this guy's fucking racist or slander. I'm going to take him to court because I can artificially change this guy's statement. I can make it look like he said something.
Right.
And now you're going to spend the next 3.5 years in court trying to prove that you didn't even say that. Mm-hmm. And all the meanwhile, I've got you out of my way now.
I feel like those are two different things, the fake news and then being able to go in and manipulate somebody's post when it's not actually them. So going back to the fake news, I think fake news is important. I mean, I agree. I think you can't just go in and censor. It's a slippery slope if you go in and say, oh, we need to get rid of this, because then what else are they starting to get rid of? Then we become China or Russia, where only sanctioned topics are allowed in. But I do think that people are too stupid to know when fake news is
fake.
I mean, they had a stat that showed on Facebook that fake news in the last couple weeks of the election were liked way more times at a way higher percent than actually real news stories. I'm sure you guys see it. I have a bunch of friends on Facebook who post fake news crap all the time, and there's always a giant comment thing underneath about people going in rage about whatever the fake news was, and then someone will finally come in and say, no, this is fake, and post a Snopes.
What is fake news? What exactly? Give me an example.
It's a different opinion. To an extent.
No, I mean, not when they say fake news Donald Trump is taking money from
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, something stupid like that.
But it's those trigger words that it just says Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton taking money, and people go, it gets them all riled up.
Yeah, when it has no
context.
Yeah, there's no content, or there's no real content at all.
But a lot of breaking stories are based on circumstantial evidence first that gets a lot of people to go, that's interesting. And then people start digging in.
But these are fake news just to be fake news. It's fake news just to get you enraged because they know you're not going to be smart enough to look into it.
Isn't that real? Doesn't that happen on regular news media, though, all the time, where they tell you a piece of some information that they know is going to get the regular person totally fucking fired up? Fox does it. CNN does it.
Everybody does it.
It's so what are we talking about? Everybody's doing that same thing. I think the regular established media is just getting pissed that fucking Joe Blow in his basement can get 4 million likes on his fucking news, and CNN's going what the fuck? We're losing this shit. We're losing this shit fast.
I don't know that it's about that. See, to me, it's more about, of course, that's what nightly news is about. Stay tuned for... You don't want to add this ingredient to your turkey, or else you're going to die. Stay tuned after the break. Of course, there's things that, but at least there's some kind of backing or basis behind it, or at least there's some kind of journalistic integrity where it's not just going to be an outright lie just to get a certain base riled up, and because they know that base isn't going to look into it any further.
If anything, the regular news stations are going, these assholes are making us look stupid because they're giving us a bad name. Regular news stations, they're held to a certain standard, and they're able to be fact checked. But Joe Blow, nobody's going to be Joe Blow doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Nobody's holding him to a standard.
And the problem with the fake news is now, because there's so much fake news, now nobody knows what they can believe or can't believe. So now news in general is discredited, whether it's real or it's fake. People aren't going to be sure, and now it's just a giant cluster, even more than it already was.
I think people have already been doing that, and that's why all the left-wing media got the election shit completely wrong, because they were in their bubble and they're saying they're fake news. I'll give an example of a get fired up and people pissed off over nothing, all for advertisement, all for dollars. Chris Kaepernick hates America, and he fucking thinks American soldiers should die because he doesn't fucking whatever his name is. That fucking guy that they said hates,
I know who you're talking about.
He hates the country.
Keep going. Yeah. He's not standing up. He's
Fuck
not
football.
standing up
I don't give a
anymore.
shit about football.
Yeah.
I think it's incredibly fucking boring.
Side point,
but that guy,
why you have an
it fucking
Philadelphia
blew.
Eagles bag
It
that you
blew
brought in?
up.
Let the man talk.
Yeah,
He's making a point.
this was given to me for free. I got 7 matching ones like it from Uline Supplies.
He keeps them around because he can't have plastic bags anymore.
That's right.
Okay, so the fake news called Kaepernick. They wanted to shake the beehive.
Yeah, they want to get everybody fired up about here's this guy that hates America, and then the truth is that they don't ever tell you about is this guy was sitting down for a year and a half and nobody ever gave a shit, and now nobody gives a shit now. But it was pumped to get people fired up to create a conversation that really wouldn't have existed naturally. They forced this fake conversation.
That's fine because he actually did that
I
stuff.
I feel there's a difference between that. That's like taking a Fox News slight or a leftist slight where you're taking a real thing and then just telling part of the story. That's completely different than saying Hillary drowns puppies in her in her tub and
Well,
posting
I-
that on
All
Facebook.
right, all right,
I
let me
just
let me
believe
bring it
that.
up then.
That's true.
How about the left-wing news media saying for 9 months that everybody who votes for Trump is a fucking racist, misogynist person? That's not fake. What is that grounded in? Where's the facts for
That's
that?
opinionated. That's the difference.
But they say that for months and months that if you vote for Trump, you're a racist.
That's
You're
the
a Nazi.
But that's what the left wing believes. That's what they want to hear. It's not fake. But
But it's not true.
I've-
so it is fake because that's not true.
It's an opinion.
And I feel like
okay, I
that's
get what you're
wrong
talking
too.
about. I'm
But I
just-
feel like that's on
yeah.
the same level as Fox News.
Of course it is. No, Ed, they're all guilty of it.
I
They're all guilty.
I
of it.
wouldn't. I wouldn't
yeah,
classify
yeah.
that as fake news. Fake news is the stuff that has absolutely no truth in it and is just put out to enrage people.
Okay, and then so let's take it that there are.
I would consider that biased news.
I would agree with you that there's shit where there's like, Ted Cruz is the fucking Zodiac killer,
Or what about this one?
right? What is this? Bernie Sanders could replace President Trump with little known. Who's that? Huffington Post. Yeah. Prime example.
Well,
Yeah.
that was passing around Facebook a while ago. But did
Yeah.
you actually read the?
And it's basically showing that it's clickbait. Like they blatantly
Yes.
say in the article, "This is clickbait."
This is clickbait.
You should have read the article.
Yeah,
instead
well,
of
and you
just-
see people post that, and then giant comment threads on
Yeah.
Facebook about, "Oh, it's so stupid," blah 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 blah. It just shows that people are dumb and don't read anything.
I just
That
think
goes
people-
back to Jeff's point, though, because that is fake news. That's that click that gets you in there, and then
Yeah.
nobody reads the fucking article.
no, that's fake
No,
news.
Yeah.
everybody like.
But it's from a credible source, like I was saying. So it's like it's both sides. It's kind of fucked.
I'm just saying I would be like. I'm not saying I would, but I'm
That's
I'm
fake
in the
news to
mind
prove a
frame
point.
that I'd
That's
be
not
like, oh
fake
yeah,
news to get you pissed off about.
I
that
like-
actually
it's
happened.
proving the point.
I like Bernie
It's
Sanders.
filing us up.
If there was content in there that said Bernie Sanders actually could do this and actually talked about it in the article, then yeah, that's fake news.
Okay, it's misleading news.
That's
what
to show.
I just
that's
think-
to show who actually reads it.
This is the problem.
and who doesn't when you look
we're
at the
trying.
comment threads.
We're in this terrible situation right now where the four of us are trying to actually define what fake news is.
And we
Right?
can't.
That's the problem, and
Yeah.
you cannot. So get over it. You're not going to stop this shit. That's like trying to curb people's free speech and say, "Well, this is offensive." It's like, not to
Yeah.
me. It's not. This isn't. You can't define offensive because it's dependent upon the person. The fake news. There are a lot of people who do what's like The Onion. The Onion is nothing but fake
And you
news.
know it's all fake news.
Not everybody knows.
Not everybody does.
Not everybody knows.
God,
The
it's
shit's
satire.
it's
See,
funny.
And that's where
people.
the problem is. The problem is not that there actually is fake news. It's the problem is that people don't know how to
is that
go about
Facebook's,
finding out
is that
it's
Facebook's responsibility?
No, 'cause
no. It should be the
Facebook's-
user's responsibility of being able. I mean, ideally, in an ideal world, all of us should be able to read this and say, "No, this is bullshit," or "Oh, this is stupid." But the problem is we don't.
One thing I don't like. Chad, you brought up Snopes.
No, actually, he did.
Oh,
Or
did.
one of
I
those
did.
yeah.
Somebody
All
brought up
the way
Snopes.
around.
Somebody brought up Snopes. And look, I'm just talking and waiting for spaces where I can say more stuff. So
that's the tag, dude.
the Snopes.
23 minutes.
I used to like Snopes because I would think like, oh, Snopes is hilarious because they would spend time following these really popular fake news things that kind of permeated, but they had they weren't important. They were not important in any way. It was like, oh, this Chinese woman was sued by her husband who divorced her because she had plastic surgery and the kids all came out ugly. Do you remember that crazy
remember
story?
that. Yeah.
And that's a great thing to go to Snopes, and figure out like somebody actually wasted 4 days of their life looking up that story to figure out if it was real or not. That's awesome. But then I
Depends
find
if
that
they got a free trip to China out of it. That'd be great.
even better. But then when you find out that like, and this goes any direction, that Snopes donated like a fuck ton of money to Hillary Clinton's campaign. It's like you just made yourself like not partisan.
Yep.
Now you're biased. So anything you say about Hillary Clinton, because I know you're on her team, I can't trust you now. That sucks. Maybe some of the other stuff I can, but if you're talking about anything political now,
But
since I
why
know you
can't
haven't,
just because they donated money to one.
because you've shown your hard bias.
It's not possible to feel one way and totally report differently. You can't.
Not really.
That's
So-
true. What if they donated because they're afraid about the kind of press freedoms that are going to be taken away under Trump
If you're willing to
administration?
donate millions of dollars to somebody, I'm not going to trust what you're going to say about their competition, because that's how much you care. You care so much that you're going to throw money at this person. That means you're pretty much willing to do anything to help them win. Because
I
the
don't know
most
about that.
Well,
I think you can donate but still have integrity. I don't think there's a line between
Why-
giving money and integrity.
You
why
can-
why make the question?
It makes you question. Yeah, it's like you can go around saying I love dogs all day long, but then if I see you kick one dog, I'm like, do you really love dogs? Could you kick that one? I don't know. It just makes it like
Yeah,
it
but if
puts
you didn't
doubt
see
in
that
there.
dog bite that person like 3 weeks
Oh,
prior,
now we're
No,
just
No, it would be like
that's the downward
it-
spiral, man.
It would be like you saying, I love dogs, but I also donate money to the shelter that puts them to sleep.
Yeah, and it
And,
makes you go
and,
like,
and a
well,
real dog lover is going to be like, no, that's unacceptable.
no, but I'm
under
helping
any
them stay off
condition.
the street. Is what I'm actually
No,
helping.
they
The
should
dogs.
be on the street alive rather than murdered by
This is
you.
the conversation that's about Snopes and everything. Is because
Yes.
like, well, can I trust you? Can I not? Well, some people can, some people can't. That's the conversation, really.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the whole thing is just like the brute force attack. Again, when I said I'm pretty sure I said in this podcast way back that I was out on Hillary Clinton just because so many fucking media people were trying to force her in.
And they were pushing.
Yep.
pushing
And
the
when
agenda.
every time I see when I see the government really wants something, a bunch of like really fucking rich corporations all want something, and the media all want something, that means it's bad. That means it's really fucking bad. When all those three people are on the same fucking team, I know it's bad because those people never want what's fucking good for the
well,
for the benefit.
why can't that be part of your bubble? Why can't that be where you're just reinforcing what you believe, that Hillary Clinton is the shill for corporate America? Because all these things I see, all these things I read tell me that. Maybe it's just because you're reading the things you want to read, not because you're out there going to try to prove yourself wrong. The thing is you can go and look at all this stuff all day long. At the end of the day, I just break it down like a fraction. I don't give a fuck. I really just don't. I don't care. I'm so sick of it. I just want to know, why can't we get okra in fucking San Diego? That's my main concern.
Dude, we're having a conversation. Okay, you go sidebar with yourself. We're having a conversation.
But really, it is relevant like that though. That we're so busy looking so far afield at so much other stuff, and there's all this thing that everybody's talking about, and all this blah blah political and Trump and cabinet post and white power, alt right. You know what? Just live your life. Just do what you think is right. Do what you think makes sense, and go with it. Like for me, I didn't like any. You know what? It is, but at the same time, I still stand up and say I didn't vote for any of these people. I didn't like any of them. No, I didn't like any of the choices. I don't care for any of the stuff.
But there's more than just.
What about the
presidents
quote
on-
that like evil people like have power when good men do nothing?
That's a good quote.
Agreed.
I like it.
You didn't vote for anything else. You didn't want to go vote for
Weed?
all the other
To protect the porn?
2.5 pages of
Condom-free
ballot
porn?
measures that we had.
I looked over all of it. I didn't really care.
Well, then this conversation is not for you.
Yeah, yeah.
See,
and
and
again-
that's another thing. I think that's completely against the grain of what America's about. Just because it's my right to vote or not to vote.
It is.
It's
But it's
totally
also my
choice.
right to criticize you for not voting.
You can criticize me, but that doesn't mean I don't have a say. That doesn't mean that because I live here and I didn't do anything about
But
it.
you chose not to voice it.
No,
And that's your
I
choice.
chose not to vote on it.
But
I
that
can
is
still
the only
talk about
time
it.
you have the say. I mean, you could when you say
Apparently
say
not, because that's all people are still talking about.
No, that's
weeks
different.
on.
Discussing the ideas, I think everybody has the right to discuss the ideas, right?
Sure.
Like in the open discord of the public, right? The town square, wherever that town square is for you, whether it's online, whether it's at the grocery store with the cashier, whether it's on a
Terrible
podcast.
idea.
There's everybody's free
You
to
say
have
that from experience.
to say that they have that conversation the way they want. But the one time that you actually have a say, that's the vote. That's when you get to actually have a say. And I don't think people should be forced to vote because then you're forcing a bunch of people who definitely don't give a fuck to just throw some shit wildly.
Yeah,
and that's
you
not
shouldn't
good.
be forced to.
No, definitely not.
It's always an option.
But I think Australia does have some sort of force.
You
There's
get
a,
fined.
there's a penalty if you don't.
It used to be $50. I don't know what it is now.
Did you vote?
No, I've done enough for America. I don't fucking care.
See,
I got fucked over for 4 years. American kissed my ass.
You didn't care about any of the other initiatives. On
I
the
knew
ballot.
everything that I was. Well, I didn't know, but I felt that everything that I wanted to pass was going to pass regardless if I won or not. So I chose to be like, nah.
weed and no plastic bags. That's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah, I really don't. And like I
We
do.
live in a bag apocalypse now. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for guilting me into voting for that. And the first day I go into Target, they're like, "Do you want to pay for these bags?" I was like, "God fucking damn it!"
Isn't it so weird?
I know. I'm just going to carry all this stuff out in my shirt.
Like
Thank
literally
you.
the next day, man.
Yeah, I thought we had like a month and a half.
But you know what's funny? Like there are
Why
still
couldn't it be
places
January?
I can't take my backpack in. Like if I was going to take my backpack, swing it around, unzip it, and like throw a couple of things in there to carry
I hope
it.
the sea turtles are appreciative.
Yeah.
You know, so first of all, it is weird. It's like that law got kicked in right away, but the weed one, that doesn't get kicked in for a year.
No, it does. You're technically able to possess, up
But
to
you
an
can't buy
ounce.
it.
You can't buy it, but somebody who has a medical marijuana card can give it to you, and you
Yeah,
can
you
grow
can gift it.
Yeah, you're allowed to have it.
I understand that
But
there's
you can't buy it
loopholes where
commercially.
you can't buy it legally. You can buy it with whatever blowjobs and fucking money.
Goods and services. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can barter for weed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to barter blowjobs? Like,
Karma, bro. I'll give you 4 karma points for that dime bag.
But wait,
I
can
think
you,
they're technically allowed to give you seeds or plants, and you can still grow them.
so you
Okay,
can, I was
but
going to say, can you grow your own?
Yeah,
now?
you can, but I think
hard.
just it's going to take them a year to figure out all the licensing
Nobody
and
spent
stuff like
any
that.
time actually writing down the details.
No,
They were just
so
like,
they're
fuck.
going to.
They were.
It's going to take them a
They
year
were high?
to do all the licensing to buy commercial marijuana.
Oh,
Has
in San
anybody
Diego's
started
gonna be
smoking
wild.
weed since the law passed? No?
I smell it more in the streets. That's
I
it,
thought
really.
the world was going to plunge into chaos. That's what I heard for 40 years.
God, right.
That there was going to be black men raping white women, and no one was going to go to work, and car crashes were going to go through, insane.
Well, I will say this: they stopped circulating the out of office emails at my job.
What does that have to do with
Yeah, I
anything?
don't
Well,
understand.
they used to tell us when people would call into work. Now they don't. There were so many of them apparently that they thought it was so bad for morale, so they
Out
quit
of office
circulating.
emails?
Yeah, like so and so is going to be out of the office. So and so called in today.
Oh, okay.
So like
I
now
still
I
don't
don't know.
understand how that connects.
Yeah.
Like so many people are calling into work now. They think it's bad for morale to announce that.
No, we've heard that 4 times. We're trying
how,
to figure out
how
the
does that
connection.
connect back to marijuana?
Are they all just at home?
Connect,
They're all
connect
home.
those dots.
No, somebody said not going to work. That it was going to be the apocalypse of black men were going to rape white women and all this
Oh,
stuff.
okay. You made like 4 connections in your
I still
head.
don't understand. how
Thank-
those-
thank
I still
God
don't
you don't
understand how
vote.
those
They're
connect.
Thank
at home
God
getting
you don't
stoned
vote.
instead of going to work.
Are you
That's what it
stoned?
is.
I was at In-N-Out. I was at In-N-Out at like 12:30, and we were getting some food.
He said it.
And the window attendant, not the person who takes the order, but the person who hands you your food and asks you if you want ketchup 4 times because they keep forgetting every time they turn around.
Yeah.
Like,
She
she goes,
barbecue sauce anyway.
yeah, she's like, would you like ketchup with that? No. Okay. And then she like turns and goes and gets like the soda and come back like, did you want ketchup? No. And then like they turn to go grab the hammer. All right, here it is. Did you want ketchup? I was like,
Sure, you don't want ketchup.
Yes, third time,
actually,
yes.
I do want ketchup now. You've primed me. I'll take 4 bags, please.
She probably has to do that every time. She's
No,
in
I
the
know.
room.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
That like they
the
It's
forget.
force of habit. is
Yeah,
what
it's
it is.
totally
Yeah.
force of habit.
No, it's probably a metric they're measured on. Like they
How many
might
times are they
No,
pushing ketchup?
Every
That's-
time you
that's
turn to the
thing.
window and engage a customer,
invest
you
in
have to
ketchup.
ask for ketchup every time.
I remember one time I
force of
asked
habit.
for a soda because I thought we didn't get it, and they just gave me another soda. You know, just handing sodas back around the car, and I'm like, "Oh, we didn't get our Dr. Pepper," and she's like, "Oh, shoot," and like ran over and got a Dr. Pepper, and I was just like, "Oh, sweet."
2 Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Double fisted that shit.
But so when we were leaving, she goes, well, you know, be careful out there. There's a lot of weed smokers on the road, you know, tonight. And I was like, oh no, ma'am, they were always there. You know, like,
Now
they're
just
not new.
legitimized. That's
They
all.
were there the
Yeah,
whole
now
time.
You're just aware of them.
They were there the whole time.
Oh man, it was all the fake news that was covering it up. That's what it was.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Breitbart just totally ignored it.
Okay, speaking of Facebook, I got annoyed with this, and I actually addressed this with my family. And so Facebook has been really on one trying to get my fucking phone number.
Yeah.
They keep saying security, for security, for security. I'm like, fuck all about security regarding my Facebook. Like, I don't. What are they gonna do? What is somebody gonna do to my Facebook account? Like, I don't give a shit. And it shows me a picture of my brother, my mom, and my dad, and says these people have all increased their security and gave Facebook their phone number.
They're peer pressuring you, is what it is.
Yeah, well, they're using my family as advertisement.
Yeah,
right?
totally. You don't want to be part of your family? What's wrong with you?
No,
That's what they're saying.
I do not want to be anything like them.
Yeah.
So I called my brother. I'm like, you gave Facebook your phone number?
Is that like a regular type of conversation he hears from you? It's like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I messaged him on Facebook.
Okay. Anyway, so you call your brother off.
Yeah, so I messaged my brother on Facebook, and I was like, did you give Facebook? Because I wanted to know if they were lying.
Oh, okay.
That was more important to
Yeah,
me first. Was are they using my brother as a lie to manipulate me? And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, Facebook says you did. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, they're showing me your fucking picture, and they says this dumbass gave us his number.
Yeah.
And that's you. So did you? And he's like, oh, I don't know, I might have. And then I was like, you? Why? Why did you fucking do this? And then I did the same thing to my mom. And after that, it was like, all right, I guess my dad did too. So my question to you, have you guys given Facebook your phone number?
Oh yeah, long time ago.
A long time ago?
Yeah,
It's the same thing as like giving it to Microsoft, giving it to Steam.
I don't give any of those people my phone number.
God, I gave him a Google Voice number. It's like some big digital circle jerk going on with me. I don't care. What?
They're just
create
calling
a phone
themselves?
number. Yeah.
It makes it easier for me if I forget my password and then
Yeah.
they just text it me
Put it
the
in your-
thing.
Yeah.
It's so much easier.
I just don't want...
What are they going to do? Call me?
No, they're not going to call.
Hey, Rob, how's it going? This is
And it's not about security either. They want to be able to link the phone number, because I know in my mind, since all of our data is up for sale, maybe Verizon sells all their user data,
Sure.
but they're not going to say, well, this is Jeff. I'll be some data point, in there.
555 1234.
Exactly. And Facebook wants to go like, oh, well, we want to connect his phone number to all these other data points, and that's going to let us tie this stuff in. So when I pull this into some what's one of those Microsoft fancy spreadsheets where you can actually, go in there and call the data alignment. What's that program called?
Excel?
No, not Excel. No, Excel can't do that shit, unfortunately. They have
Access?
yes.
That's their lightweight database stuff.
Yes, the database one. Actually, it wasn't until I took a class and figured out how to use that, and I was like, this is actually a fucking amazing program, but too expensive for me to afford. Plus, I don't really have a lot of
You can have
data
the
sets.
student version. Comes with
Yeah, but
Office.
what data am I going to fucking mine? I just thought it was nifty once I figured out how to use it. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, so Verizon sells your shit, your Cox Cable sells your shit, Facebook and Google will sell your shit. So they basically are going to use all that stuff, and they got a complete picture on an individual if they want. I know that they're not necessarily going down to the individual level, but that's, to me, I was just like, nah, I don't want to.
Who the fuck is buying all this shit?
Who?
Yeah, who?
Advertisers, for sure.
Yeah, marketing.
Coca-Cola is probably buying a shit ton of it.
Oh, I would
Disney.
say definitely Google number one, because they're using their artificial intelligence stuff. I mean, that's why Google and Facebook are going to be so far ahead of the game, because all of that deep learning stuff gets really good when you can, truckload in like massive amounts of data, and then it can like learn through all of that stuff.
Right.
So, it's just like, why did Facebook, why have they been so far ahead of the game, or been able to catch up with Google with all of their picture data, algorithm catching stuff? For a long time, Facebook's been able to figure out who the fuck everybody is in your pictures. They even play dumb. They go, tell us who this is.
Top person it already knows.
Tell us your mom's name.
You type in
Just-
A and it's like it all fills
and you're
in
like,
already.
what, her picture is clearly on all her other pictures. Do you need me?
Yeah.
Like, they play dumb. I know they know who that fucking person is.
Yeah.
They just want me to put the name in there so that I feel good about it. But they already know who my mom is. They already know who my cat is.
Yeah.
They already know all that shit.
Cat book. Mm-hmm. Definitely linked up the cat book.
Okay, so you guys all, jumped in, plugged yourselves into the Matrix.
So
Got
long.
it.
So
Yeah,
long.
I
So
don't.
long
I don't
ago.
really. I really
Well, I
don't.
gave
care.
her a fake
I'm ready.
number.
I'm ready for Minority Report. Can I just walk into a blank store and they'll just all of a sudden all these shirts will just come in and it knows what I want. That my pant size will show up on the rack and all that stuff.
How
Totally down
about
for
about
that.
this? There's a artificial intelligence that's being used over in China that actually uses facial measurements to determine whether somebody's a criminal or not, just based on what their face looks like. Because they take
Well, I'm fucked.
because there's all these correlations, right? There's
Sure.
correlations to how the distance from the tip of your nose to the edge
Corner
of your mouth,
Yeah.
right, and then how close your eyes are together, like the space, and it gives. And so then they put in a bunch of random photos, right? They put in a bunch of photos from a criminal database, and thousands of photos from regular people, and the artificial intelligence was able to determine with like 80% accuracy who was a criminal and who was not, just on their face.
Was Trump and Hillary put in there?
Yeah, they were number one.
What about Martha and Snoop?
They were in the middle. They were like.
I like your nonchalant answers. Like, oh yeah, your joke's
I mean,
dumb.
technically
Here
they're criminals, but they're awesome. So we're good with it.
Well, wait, no,
Technically, Snoop is not a criminal.
thank you. Yeah, he's not one that's been.
No,
caught.
I've heard his rap songs. Like, he's done some pretty horrific shit.
It's art, man. It's just art.
That's all his art.
What-
I think that's fucked up that they would profile somebody and like based off of who you are as an 8-year-old and how your face is shaped. Like, oh, you're a criminal. We're just gonna throw you in jail. Like, skip all the bullshit. We don't want you to murder anybody or steal anything. That just sounds like a really oh man, I don't like that at all. It doesn't sit well with me. It's just because I mean, like, really, because even before you walk into the store, they're gonna go "Boop, access denied. And you're like, well, fuck you, man. I just want some eggs. Like, just because I have a little like in my face.
Yep.
That's,
Well, what if you have a
I don't like
stroke?
that. Yeah, dude. Then you go from A-class society to like fucking nobody.
It'll know that you had a stroke. It'll definitely be able to tell the difference between that. If it can tell the difference between you're a criminal or not, it can definitely identify whether you have Down syndrome or a stroke
Or Botox.
Yeah, probably. Absolutely.
God, that's just so shitty because it's just you're filtering people before they even have a chance. Like, so what if their face looks a certain way? That doesn't mean they're going to be a criminal. Well, apparently it does. I don't know.
Well, the thing is it's correlation. It's not causation.
Yeah.
So the problem is you could say, well, because these people's faces are this way, they've been treated differently their whole life, which has ushered them into potentially a
life of criminal.
a life of criminality.
Right.
You don't know that,
That
but
hasn't happened yet, but if the program goes into effect, then it sure will.
Doesn't this smack
right,
a little
it would
bit
just
of-
reinforce it, right?
Yeah,
It would
it's
say
a
like, hey, you got a
self-fulfilling
hair
thing.
lip, you're done. Just lock them up now.
Yeah.
Just lock them up now.
Doesn't this smack a little bit of eugenics? Is it just me, or does it smell like that?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Well, like
it
that
definitely
whole,
will.
like-
Except for now, we're going to have the ability to go in and like you just lay down on some sort of car wash machine and you just come out looking like Pamela Anderson or Brad Pitt, and everybody just looks the fucking same. They just inject you with fucking stem cells and
Steven's
shit.
face.
They just shove. They take a turkey baster, they suck up a bunch of stem cells, they shove it into your ass, and then fucking like the next day you wake up and you're a different person. We all saw that the Wall, the Pink Floyd thing, where everybody's
yeah.
getting stamped out. This is the perfect person. Everybody needs to be this way.
Yeah.
Or it's more like what's that one with that movie with Ethan Hawking?
Gattaca.
Yeah, it's just
Love
like
that
Gattaca.
movie. That movie's the shit, dude. Fuck yeah. It still holds up today. It's a
It
good
totally
movie.
holds up.
That was great.
Yeah, it's a great movie, dude. Fuck yeah.
It is good. It is good.
I've read
What happened to Ethan Hawke, man?
he kept doing shitty movies.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
It's stopping
The Purge.
it's stopping the 90s too. That's what
Huh?
happened.
He did The Purge.
Isn't the Purge? I never saw
Like
it.
I said, he kept doing
Well,
shitty
the
movies.
first one I like. It's that they kept trying to milk it, and it's like, what are they on the third or fourth?
No,
one
the
now?
problem with The Purge is the same thing that's the problem with every fucking
He was in.
zombie movie. They never get the fuck out of the house they're in. Whatever it is.
It was a scary movie with Bagul. It was the one where they moved into a house. He's like a writer, an author. There's like these tapes in the attic. No, didn't
Nope.
watch it. Don't
No,
like
a
scary
whole lot of
movies.
nothing. No,
No,
not my
All
thing,
right.
dude.
Not Insidious. I don't remember what it's.
I don't remember.
Sinister or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea.
All right.
Oh yeah, no. That's the best.
Yeah, I think the
try to
whole
explain something for 3 minutes and just to
They're
no
like,
avail.
oh yeah, no, I have no idea. I think that facial recognition thing, I think it just sets people up because like if you get scanned at 18, it's like if you can try this at your office, you might like this because you like to fuck with people. Just like go up to somebody at the very like get a bunch of people together and be like, hey, we're just all going to tell this one person. They're like, oh, you look kind of sick today. After a couple hours of being like, oh, you look kind of sick, they're gonna be like, man, I feel sick, like. And you can do that with criminals. If you get told you're a criminal your entire life, you're like, well, fuck, maybe I'm a criminal. And like that's just so shitty, dude. I don't like that at all. Like,
Yeah,
that
it's like being
hits something
black.
to me. Yeah, it's like and like you're pre-associated, like you're black, you must rob people, you must rape people, you must smoke weed, you must be horrible. That's not the case. And now you,
You
have
must
to
wear your pants down.
yeah, and now you have to fight that your entire fucking life, and not even your life, but generations of life, just to get out of that hole. And you're fighting it uphill the entire fucking way while they keep trying. Sorry, dude. I went off on that.
No, I agree with you. It does, like Rob says, it could reinforce things that we're trying to get rid of. I was watching. Speaking of like non-mainstream media sources, I don't subscribe to them, but I like to watch the little YouTube videos if they cover a topic that I'm interested in. The Young Turks. Have you guys ever seen any of those guys? Sometimes they're way too left for me, and sometimes they're just like
it's
anything.
actually kind of funny.
I do. I like them. I actually preferred watching them on the election coverage than anybody else, actually.
Now, nobody's going to keep it more real than a couple of logs. Let me tell you.
They
what?
covered a
Wogs.
story.
What the fuck are wogs?
It was like that's what.
Are you being racist?
Yes.
dude,
Mediterranean people are
goddamn it,
called
old
logs.
people.
What? Shut up.
Fucking old white Nazis.
Collect your security, your social security, and go take a nap.
Damn. The
What
nap I
happens
can
when
get
you,
behind.
that's
Fuck
why
you.
you're. That's what happens when you're racist next to a brown guy, dude. Shut up.
Yeah, I heard Murder, She Wrote is on Napster now.
What are you talking about, Napster? This isn't 1990.
No, Napster's back.
1995.
You know that?
What?
Yeah. Napster's a legit thing now.
I'm sorry.
Is it like a file sharing thing?
Okay.
it used
It's
to
like
be?
a media thing. Yeah, I saw a headline that I read but didn't. I just looked at the comments on Reddit. It was like
More fake news.
11 years. Yeah, fake news. 11 years and Metallica is finally has
Oh, I saw
all
that. All their
albums
music
on
on
Napster.
Napster.
And that's what I thought. I was like, wait, Napster's dead. And then I saw like I don't know, Spotify or something like bought Napster and they've like rebranded Napster and now it's like a pay service. And all of Metallica's stuff is on there, and I was like, the irony.
I'm not
Have you
gonna
listened to that
What
album?
dicks.
Which
Have
one?
you listened to it?
The newest one?
The newest one?
I heard.
I stopped listening to them once Saint Anger came out, it was over.
Oh yeah, dude, that was their
once,
shitty album.
Once the drum sounded like a trash can in a giant echo chamber, I was out. It's so out.
Literally?
Sounded like they were from Slipknot.
Here's Metallica. Yeah, that's the album right there in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's thrash
he
metal.
says yeah like I swear like 1,000 times across the 3 days.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Metallica.
That's
Pretty
Metallica
much.
for you in general, but yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, it's Metallica.
No,
if you like Metallica,
I get what they're
Metallica.
trying to do though, because they're trying to be like, oh, remember Napster and Metallica used to hate each other. Now they kissed and made up. You should pay for to get this.
Yeah.
like Kanye
It's
tried
funny.
to doing the same thing for Waze, but like Metallica. Well, actually, Metallica's pretty big. I don't think everyone's going to start using Napster out of nowhere just because Metallica has all their fucking shit on there. Like it's a marketing ploy, I think.
What's the CD that had Master of Puppets on it? Is it Black or
Master of Puppets?
is that the one? What's
It's
is it
probably
Master of Puppets?
I
yeah.
think so.
And then what's the one that had Battery? Is that Battery also like the first song on that one?
Garage Inc?
No,
don't
that
know.
might have been. I don't know. Either Load or the Black album.
Reload.
It
I
might
think it was
be.
Load.
No, it's definitely not Load. Because
No?
Load is
I
where
think
they
it
have
was
like
a
a
Black
bunch of
album.
like weird kind of country feeling type of like songs in there. Anyways, to me, I liked the couple of albums that are after their super hard shit, like Ride the Lightning and stuff, and then they went like super melodic in they would break up their like thrash metal with
Yeah,
like a long
that was the
3 minute.
best.
That was the shit.
That was like Reload and Garage Incorporated and all of those albums.
I liked the Load and Reload, but that's definitely not the one I'm thinking of. But yeah, I don't know. I did listen to the teaser. They did like a release song, and I was something like "Moth in the Flame" or something. What was the song?
I heard it on Spotify, and it just sounds pretty good.
No, it just sounds like Metallica.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Standard
oh,
Metallica. Like,
yep.
fuck
Do you
yeah.
guys all use Spotify?
Yeah, I use nothing but Spotify.
I have an account, but no, I've got Pandora One.
Oh, I don't do any streaming. I want to own all my music.
Why? Do you still buy CDs?
Yeah.
Do you buy vinyl?
From where?
No, I don't
where
buy
you
vinyl.
where are you getting
Wait,
these?
now wait a minute. Don't be dismissive about
That's
it.
hipster.
That's way too much work to actually go and like. I want to still press a button, but I want to own it.
You want to be able to hold it and.
No, I don't buy physical CDs.
Oh, so okay.
I buy
Why?
digital CDs.
But
Why,
you'll
dude?
buy the downloads and
Yeah.
bring them down.
Yeah.
You'll have the files.
Yeah, I want the files. I
Why?
have them all
Why? You can
because
just
I
stream-
want them whenever. I don't want to have to worry about streaming. I don't want to have to worry about quality.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because sometimes quality isn't the best, and then sometimes like I'll like a song and then the whole album disappear because the artist pulled it. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
So do you ever get flax?
And plus, I like to. Yeah, sometimes I used to. I buy everything now, for the most part.
Okay.
I like to. I feel like I like to support the artist because they don't get jack from Spotify.
Yeah.
but everyone does Spotify.
But
Yeah.
you don't get like that's the thing is nowadays all these people are getting this, and rarely do you ever get all the cover art and liner notes and all that stuff that was in there. Like when you take like
It's a dead art for sure.
yeah, well, like going back to like one of the best selling albums of all time, Fleetwood Mac's Rumors. You know, there was tons of stuff in the album with that. You know, going to Tusk, there was tons of artwork in there. It was all 80s crap, but it was still artwork. But yeah, I mean, there's so much junk that you get in there. You know, that actually comes from physically buying media like that.
Bands definitely don't do that enough.
Huh?
I don't think bands
They don't
do
do
that
the
stuff
art?
enough.
No, probably not
they
anymore.
don't like.
Because
They don't represent-
physical.
But they don't because there's nothing to buy anymore. Like if there's
You
like
get
a Jay-Z
digital.
album comes out, like what is he going to send you, a gold chain with it? Like what the fuck
That would
is
be awesome.
like
If you sign up for Tidal.
when like one thing when you're saying the album, I remember when I was a little kid and first getting into like Nirvana, you know, and I loved looking through the album art. Like I just thought that their music videos had like this, you know, I don't know, like the one heart-shaped box. Do you guys remember that video? Like it's dark and bizarre and surreal.
Yeah.
I liked that kind of shit. And back then they didn't think of it, but they probably could have taken some of that imagery in there and probably made stuff, you know, physical stuff that you could put. It's kind of like, you know, the video game companies do a great job. Like Blizzard will sell you like action figures of fucking Kerrigan and
Yeah.
fucking, you know, the Marines and the statues and shit that you can put on there. But
You can do that. It's hard to turn a profit with that, and I think more people now they want more forms of content. So like, yeah, you can't give them a CD cover, but you can give them a really awesome Instagram page they can follow, or you can give them great Snapchat stories. So I think just the way of how people consume what bands make is just changed. Like, and it is still cool to get that shit. It's really cool to get a fucking like a nice vinyl or a CD, like CD album art. Like that's cool, but there's more
When
ways.
you buy it, you can still usually like with iTunes, it comes with the digital copy of the album cover and the insides, the internal.
Yeah, but if you
contents and
buy the
everything
vinyl for like all the, forgive me, all the prequel Star Wars movies, if you buy the vinyl soundtracks for all those, if you play them, like you flip them over, there's like little stuff like put on there so that as it spins and plays, you see like rotating TIE fighters and X-Wings and AT-ATs.
That's
and
cool.
Star
That's
Destroyers.
pretty
cool.
sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't get that with just a download.
No, you're right.
You can go
But-
to YouTube and watch somebody else
How
do
often
it.
are you staring at your turntable as it's spinning around, though?
If you do like most hipsters and you pay like $1,000 for your stupid turntable that's all analog and tubes, and you're paying $15-$20 for vinyl,
So you can hear
you're
the
what?
grainy as
Yeah.
it goes around. No thanks.
Yeah, I wish bands would do that more. I don't know. You've been in bands. Like, how much time do you have to like sit around and think that shit up though? Like, it's if you're touring and that's
Usually
how you're
you pay
making your
someone
money.
to do all that stuff.
But if you're not making as much money from plays and like on Spotify and everything, and you have to spend all your time
Yeah,
touring.
it doesn't matter. Why would you pay someone to do that stuff?
Yeah, I don't feel like bands, they just don't have the time to do it. Like, it's cool when they can, but I mean,
It's not worth the cost.
yeah, I don't think so. I don't know, it just sucks.
I don't know. I think that now is it's cheaper than ever to do that kind of stuff. I just think
Yeah,
about like
yeah.
when I never was into them, but when I see people that are into like a band, I'm not a huge music buff, so I'm not going to come up with the best examples. But there's like Kiss, right? Like the people show up like they want to get the fucking boots. They paint their face like the person.
Yeah.
You know, like and. When you were a kid, you would put a poster on so that when your buddies came out, they could see that you were a fan of those guys, you know, and they don't, I don't know, I just don't feel like that's not a big thing anymore.
You say you're not going to give the best example, and you probably gave the best example.
Well,
I probably picked the most popular thing because that's all I'm going to see.
well, no,
They were
Gene
huge.
Simmons was. That's the key.
Whole band,
and
I mean, come on, the
Gene
pinball
Simmons
machines
marketing?
and the-
Yeah, Gene
Gene
Simmons,
Simmons
he
is good
trademarked
at
the dollar sign on money bags. You can't put that. Monopoly had to make a special Kiss thing that he got royalties from just so he didn't pull that chain from them. For like, he's a fucking genius at
crazy.
marketing. Yeah. But that's what other bands, they don't have. They don't have that marketing mentality. A lot of them are artists and they're like, my art is pure and blah, blah, blah. But they don't know how to sell themselves.
What's
I
that
think.
guy that's like the techno music guy and his head looks like the Mickey Mouse thing?
Dead
Mouse.
Dead Mouse, you know? Like he could probably sell Dead Mouse hat. I'm sure he does.
No,
Like,
he doesn't.
No?
He's very, very anti all that bullshit. He's the type of guy who buys a Ferrari and then paints Nyan Cat on it.
That's
what
so
he does.
funny.
Yeah, it's fucking
Okay,
hilarious.
well then that's awesome too. But why would he not want to sell fucking Dead Mouse head
Because he
things?
makes so much money for pressing play, he doesn't care.
Yeah, well maybe.
Have you seen the inside of that fucking thing though?
the helmet.
Yeah.
No.
Like it's part of it. Like he's got like 9 fans in the back of it to keep him cool during the
Yeah, that makes
There's
total
like 2
sense.
LCD screens.
Yeah.
He's got his own
Standing
headphones
up.
built
That's
in.
where Daft Punk
Standing
fucked
there
up.
jumping in place.
They made their helmets too
So
small.
it makes it
Yeah,
so hot.
needs some air going on there. He made it like Dead Mouse makes a lot of good stuff. I think he's the one who first started those coffee runs. You know what I'm talking about? Like you'd go like
Starbucks coffee runs?
yeah, those like videos where they'll just put a phone on and they'll record him. I think he's the one who invented that concept. He used to have DJs that would stop by in Toronto and be like, "Yo, I'll pick you up. We'll go get coffee. We'll talk about stuff, and then I'll drop
Does
you
he
off
wear
the
his
airport."
dead mouse?
No,
helmet
it's just
the whole
him.
time?
It's just him the whole time. Yeah, he was very like, I don't want to reveal my face for a while.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, I got something else. Black Friday news.
Oh,
Anybody donate to the hole that's being dug somewhere randomly by Cards Against Humanity?
No, but that's awesome.
Love that.
Was it last year you could buy a bag of shit?
A
and they-
box of bullshit.
Yeah, and they would literally send you that.
Dried out shit. Yeah, no one saw that coming. I don't know why, but everybody thought it would be like like the nomenclature of bullshit, not the literal sense of,
Yeah.
of bullshit. That's the best thing ever. Like they're geniuses at marketing, and they have so few like products.
Yeah.
One of the things I love that they
yeah.
have. My favorite thing that they came out with a while ago was Misfortune cookies.
Oh,
those are the best.
Those are fucking legit, dude. Yeah. Your wife's probably cheating on you. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Where is this hole that they're digging?
I
saw
don't
that-
know.
I saw that on the news like as I was flipping through this morning.
The real news or fake news?
Fake news for sure. It was on Facebook. It was on Facebook, so for sure fake
Definitely
news.
fake news. That's what the F on Facebook is.
I was disappointed because I kept going back to the YouTube channel to watch the live dig, and I was like, "What, you guys? Is that weird?"
I just like the
love it.
idea that they're digging this fake hole. They're like, well, watch us dig this big hole. I just like the whole idea.
Well,
I
that's
like the
so
idea
ridiculous.
of Jeff going to watch it.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Not that we're not shitting. I'd do the same fucking thing because I want to watch them do it because it's
If
who
you
they
ever
are.
dug a hole in your life,
Yeah, dude.
then you pretty much get the basic concept down.
But
You
it's
don't
the
have to
big
watch it.
hole. It's hard to get its humanity.
yeah, it's like the best
4.5
sandcastle
billion
hole
years of
ever.
evolution from the universe from Big
they gonna
Bang to
fill it
now.
back up when
It's
they're
got you
done?
watching a hole.
Is it just going to be a
That's
giant
next year.
hole?
I don't know.
Fill up the big hole.
I like the I don't know. I went in and like kind of read some of the feedback. They had some stuff. They were like, "Why are you taking all this money and digging a hole?" And then their answer, no, and not donating this money to charity. And then their answer thing back is, "Why are you donating to dig a hole?
Yes!
And why aren't you donating to charity?"
Love that.
And then somebody was like, "Well, what if you dig so deep that you run into lava?" And they're like, "Well, at least we'd feel something." You know? I was like, "This is like so fucking good,
So good.
And then, so when
Fuck.
you donated as little as $1, you get your name to go across the ticker of the live feed, and so but the more you donated, the higher up you went on your name to go to the ticker. So like all $5, would go like above like the $1. Mm-hmm. And
I'd pay $20 to see Pat McCrotch scroll across.
well, that's what people did. So people started like just throwing random stuff. Some people were like $5,000 and then put the name of their business, right? And then somebody did like $5,000, and they were just to show that there was no character limitation on the name. So for like 15 minutes, it just went just like
people were trolling them right back.
People were just trolling like the thing, which I thought was fucking hilarious. People were like $5. Don't buy from this company; they suck. Like on there, because there was like 80,000 people when I looked on there, watching it.
Yeah.
But still, my complaint was they weren't digging down.
Oh, they're just digging out.
They were just digging like this larger and larger hole.
If you're gonna dig a big hole, you have to do that.
I guess.
Or else it'll collapse.
I wonder if it's. I wonder if they're still digging right now. No, I'm serious. I'm gonna fucking look
I want
on
to
here.
How much does $1 buy you? Is that like one shovelful?
It's like 1 second worth of digging.
Oh, okay. That sounds about, so it's just one guy out there, and he's just like.
No, it's a big.
No, it's
big,
tractors and dump trucks.
Oh,
and it's like full, and it's all the tractors and dump trucks all have cameras on them, and they click around so that you can
this
see.
Is fucking cool.
It's
such a great
They're
idea.
digging a hole for nothing.
That's why it's awesome. That's like why you watch Seinfeld. They're just talking about getting
I weep for the future.
Yeah, it's still going.
These are the
but
people that believe
it's
in fake
almost
news.
dead.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the hole.
Yeah, dude, that's a big ass hole.
And Jeff just showed us his big hole.
That's
so
it's
cool.
A big hole. It's got a little hair on it.
That is
but,
so cool. I like the idea because
It's not very deep.
It's a
I'm a
big.
little
No.
disappointed.
That's what I wanted them to
Yeah,
dig down.
yeah.
Dig down, motherfucker! Like, why are you digging out wider and wider?
'Cause they don't wanna hit the
They
lava.
got the fucking the digger like
cool,
cam.
it's moving around. I like it because it's a big fuck you to entertainment, is what it is. It's just showing it the mirror back in your face. And
It's
like,
literally-
you're stupid. No,
Just
you're
mute
dumb.
Bob the Builder. It's the
I
same
was
shit.
just gonna say.
Just trolling life.
Yeah, dude.
There's
I
only
like it. I
actually
like it.
there's only 10 minutes and 45 seconds left.
Oh,
That's how much time. When I first clicked
What
on
is it?
there,
I'm gonna donate.
there was 30 hours.
If you
On there.
donate, will it up the time?
Yeah. As you donate, the time goes back up. And they have people working 24 hours, like around the clock. They have like different shift like people digging.
Must have been expensive to pay overtime and late time. That's why all the time started going.
No,
down.
people already did all the math and they figured out
Holiday
exactly
hole.
how much it would cost per hour, and it was something like, I think it was like $600 or $700 an hour to keep the thing running, and it's just will go as long as people keep donating money to it. I fucking thought that was hilarious.
This is awesome. This is easily the best thing I've heard all
Yeah.
year.
We should just stop the podcast.
Yeah,
and watch.
like this. How are we gonna top this? How do we top this?
I don't know.
Easily.
We're not doing our marketing right. That's all. That's
We're
all
not
I
digging
know.
holes. We're
That's all
not
I
digging
know.
holes. We need to eat a bunch of food or some
All right,
shit.
somebody go out to Valley Center. We'll post up something on YouTube. Get a shovel.
This ginger will keep digging as long as you keep paying.
All right, let's.
Yeah.
Speaking of not being able to continue, let's wrap it up.
Oh, let me bring up one more thing.
Okay.
Come
Come on.
So,
Yeah, save it for the next one.
are we gonna do another one after this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fuck you guys later, and go donate to the hole. It's actually by the time you
Throw
hear by
your
the time
money
you hear
down
this,
the hole,
yeah,
literally.
throw your money in a black hole.
It'll be way too late.
Check us out on. Honestly, just go to our subreddit. That's the only thing that's actually probably the most live and active. Facebook
should-
is all right, but subreddit, we can keep it between us because Facebook sucks. That's Covalence Cast on subreddit, Covalence Cast at Facebook, Covalence Cast on the interwebs. Check it out. Love to hear back from you. Thanks, guys. Bye.